Peace, peace, shalom. It's the brother Zachariah, giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh Ba'Shem Yahushai, Ba'Shem Rakar Kadash, giving a sincere shalom to all the Akim, teaching this word in truth and sincerity. Question: what is the fear of the Lord? What is the fear of the Lord? Answer: the fear of the Lord is understanding. It's that simple. It's understanding, man. All right? And through the spirit and power of Yahweh, Ba'Shem Yahushai, I'm going to prove that tonight, okay? All right, let's get right into it. Proverbs 8:13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way, and the forward mouth do I hate. Those strong words. Okay, so when you're reading the scriptures, you really have to focus, dial in on what's being conveyed, right? So I'm gonna start Proverbs 8:1. I'm gonna get some context to what's been said, and then we're gonna go into Proverbs 8:13 with precepts, okay? Because if you ain't got no precepts on your video and you trying to edify brothers, you not trying to edify brothers, man. It's that simple, man. You must have precepts on all breakdowns for me to even take it serious. You could have the wrong breakdown with precepts, but for me to even listen to you and take you serious, if you don't have any precepts on breaking something down, then I can't, I'm not buying it. I'm just that simple. I'm not buying it. So Proverbs 8:1. Doth not wisdom cry, and understanding put forth her voice? Yes, she do. Everywhere she puts her voice. Everywhere. Every land, all four corners of the earth, wherever Israel scattered, that's where wisdom is. The wisdom of the Lord. Because there's a right hand wisdom, which is righteousness, and you got left hand wisdom, which is wickedness. But we're going to continue. So it says, she standeth, talking about wisdom, in the top of high places, by the way, in the places of the path. She crieth at the gates, at the entry of the city, at the coming in at the doors. Unto you, O man, I call, and my voice is to the sons of man. Why? Because the men are the leaders of the nation, man. Right? The men are the leaders of the nation, right? Nations come through men. Nations of men come through the men that carries the seed. So the Most High deals with the leaders, right? He just like anyone would deal with the head of the household. You men are the head of your household. You're going to come and talk to the head of the household. In any real culture, you deal with the head, the father, the chief, right? Of the household, of the congregation, right? All right, so precept. Ezekiel 34:31. And ye, my flock, the flock of my pasture, are men, and I am your God, saith the Lord. God. Which you can say God, brothers say power. You can say judge. A lot of times I'll say power, but just to keep it plain and to the point, I'll read it through and then give you some understanding on the variations of those words, just to get some more familiar context of how it's been said on the highways and byways. And if you're a brother, you're listening to this, and you're like, what is this guy talking about as far as the variations of words and stuff like that? When you come out to the camps, you got brothers in these camps, right, that teach and preach Hebrew, right, that teach and preach the Greek, that teach and preach, in various languages, right? So when you hear brothers say certain things like God, or if the brother is replacing that with power, or the judge, or the Most High, or Yahweh, He's saying the same thing, essentially. So for you new brothers that's just listening. All right, Sirach, which is Ecclesiasticus, right? Sometimes referred to as Sirach when brothers are reading, is Sirach 33 and 18, to precept Proverbs 8 and 4. Hear me, O ye great men of the people, and hearken with your ears, ye rulers of the congregation. See, the Most High dealing with the leaders, man. He dealing with the leaders. The women are very important. Don't get me. We love women. You know, we love women for their purpose and for their usefulness, right? If you're out of order and you a jagabat and you a damn barefoot ostrich running around here like a Tasmanian devil, we don't love that. That's a female. That's not a woman, because a woman means to serve the man, right? A man servant of man, right? But it ain't no slavery, you know, it ain't no 17th century slavery type of servitude, man. It's righteous order, right? It's a service, okay? You women got to understand that when you're serving your man, you're actually serving the Most High. You're in your order. You're damn near perfect being in order. So, but to get back, Ecclesiasticus 1:15, she hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. The reason why the scriptures refer to wisdom as a she, then they refer to Israel as a woman, because if you understand the divine order, right? The man is the head of the household, and then then his servant is the woman. You understand what I'm saying? Yahweh is God Almighty. Yahweh Shai serves him. That's the word. You understand what I'm saying? So the head of men is Yahweh Shai, right? So we're his wife, so to speak, right? We're his wife, right? And if you think about it, that also goes into, just to kind of detour just for a second, it goes into multiple wives being lawful, which is in the law, Deuteronomy the 21st chapter. But it's super lawful because when you think about it parabolically, when you think about it realistically, there's only one husband, right? Yahweh Shai is our husband, right? And his flock, or the men that's under him, are considered his wife. But there's many of us. There's multiple wives, which are leaders. So that proves multiple wives too, if you look at the brothers look at it like that, right? So anyway, Psalms, look, let me go back to Sirach. Let me read this. Sirach 1:15. She hath built an everlasting foundation with men, and she shall continue with their seed. Right? All of Israel, male and female, right, is highly esteemed, right? Is the inheritance of Yahweh, right? Through Yahweh Shai. Is the inheritance of Yahweh through Yahweh Shai. But the leaders, right, of Israel, the rulers of Israel, right, are men. And I'm just putting that out there. I like to throw that vibration out there because it's the truth. Let me just read. Let's keep going here. It says, verse 5. It says, "O you simple, understand wisdom." Let me read. It says, "O ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart." So if you look at that, you say, okay, understand. Well, I keep hearing wisdom and understanding, wisdom and understanding. Like I told you, brothers, man, the fear of the Lord is understanding. The fear of the Lord is understanding. I'm going to prove that. And it says, when you look up wisdom, right? Wisdom is skills, right? Wisdom is applied knowledge. It's the knowledge you have, how you're applying it. There's right hand wisdom and there's left hand wisdom. You understand what I'm saying? Just like there's the fear of the Lord, there's the fear of Satan that's in the earth too, right? It's two opposite poles. It's bipolar, man. You know, that's the condition of the battle, man. Life and death, good and evil, the lie, right, and the truth. Okay, so when you read this, and we can get some proof on this real quick. Let's see if I can keep this video pretty short. Just get to the point. Wisdom, shrewdness, craftiness, prudence, right? You gotta be really into these scriptures, man. Like this is your lifeline, man. This is what's keeping me energized. It really is. I really don't have faith in nothing but these scriptures, right? I don't have no type of concrete faith in anything in this world. You know, I personally rejected the world. And what does that mean? That means that my truth, my foundation, my right and wrong comes from the scriptures. Truth, foundation, right and wrong don't come from CNN. For me, it doesn't come from the NAACP. It doesn't come from Black Lesbians Matter group. It doesn't come from all these wicked philosophies, man. It comes right here out of the fountain of life, man. The fountain of youth, really. So you look up the words like wisdom, you look at words like understanding. It's all saying the same thing essentially, but one needs another to build. Like, let's just get Proverbs, just a Proverbs 4:7, my absolute favorite scripture in the whole entire Bible. Wisdom is the principal thing, therefore get wisdom, and with all thy getting, get understanding. Letting you know that knowledge comes first, right? Knowledge is just science is another way of saying knowledge. Knowledge just means to know, right? You know this, you know that, you know this, you know that. The wisdom is applying that knowledge, right? That's what makes it a skill. Now you have a skill because you have applied knowledge, right? But the excellency of wisdom, the fear of the Lord, right? When you get the knowledge and the wisdom, you'll get what the Most High allows you to have, in being sincere and obedient to the word, is something called understanding. And that's when, it's like when you're watching the movie, oh, this is when it gets good. It's about to get good now. When you get that understanding, that's when this Bible gets good. That's when it gets good. You understand? So let's go back. Proverbs 8. We're going to read down and we're going to get right to that 13th verse. Let me read 5 again. It says, Oh, ye simple, understand wisdom, and ye fools, be ye of an understanding heart. Meaning your mind. The heart, la'ab in the Hebrew, means your mind. Here, for I will speak of excellent things, and the opening of my lips shall be right things. Right? Right things. For my mouth shall speak truth, and wickedness is an abomination to my lips. Right? So you can trust these scriptures because your moral compass, your right and wrong will always be validated and always be justified through the precepts in this Bible, man. You understand? Verse 8. All the words of my mouth are in righteousness. There's nothing forward or perverse in them. And when you go into that word forward, it goes into being twisted. Sirach 39:24. As his ways are plain unto the holy, so are they stumbling blocks into the wicked. Right? Ephesians 4:29. Let no corrupt communication proceed out of your mouth, but that which is good to the use of edifying, that it may minister grace unto the hearers. Okay? Colossians 3:8. But now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communication out of your mouth. Because when you in the truth, when you in the understanding of what's right and what's wrong, you know how to be. Understanding is like I tell brothers this all the time. Understanding is like seeing the future, man. When you understand what's going on with things, you know how to move. Or you understand that, this lady, she ain't about shit. She trash. You ain't gonna deal with her. You understand that, this chick right here, she's just a flashy booty, big booty, and big lips and wide hips, and she's all open. She's an easy skeet, so to speak, if you will. You understand how to take her serious. It's like it keeps you out of trouble, man. That understanding, it's like seeing the future, man. It's like seeing the future, right? I tell brothers this all the time. When you get the understanding, you'll see things before they happen, man. You'll see. With the understanding, you'll see fights before they happen. You'll understand situations quick. When you read spirits, you understand briefly, right? You gotta delve into, brothers, nowadays, but you will understand who's wicked, who's righteous, who's keeping the law, who ain't keeping the law. Because you have the understanding. You have the understanding of wisdom, right? You have the understanding of wisdom. Let me go back. So it says, righteousness, they are plain. Verse 9, they are all plain to him that understandeth. Keep saying the same thing. And right to them that find knowledge. Right? Psalms 111 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. And it says, the fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom. A good understanding have all they, not some, all they that do his commandments. His praise endure forever. And we know this is a real big milk scripture that all the brothers go to give you context on how to understand the scriptures, man. You got to be doing the commandments, man. And that understanding, right, is powerful, because when you obtain the wisdom and you obtain the knowledge, you can proceed, right? You'll have a better prudence about yourself, right? You'll have a better continence about yourself, right? You can judge righteously, because why? To judge just means to think critically. It's just critical thinking. You do that every morning, man. When you driving in the work, you're thinking critical, man. Oh man, let me slow down. This guy's hitting his brakes crazy. This guy's swerving. That's understanding of where you at, man. Like I always say, people don't fear what they don't understand. They fear what they understand. That's why the fear of the Lord is understanding, because nobody that don't understand what's going on in this Bible can truly fear the Most High. You don't really fear God because your grandma told you to fear. You're like, all right, grandma. You still go out and be an adulterer. You go out and be a whoremonger. You go out and be the most perverse person on the planet. And then when you 80 years old, you want to give your life to the Most High. That's not fear. That's not fearing the Most High, because that's stupidity. That's not wisdom. There's no understanding in that. That's foolishness. That's folly. You only understand what you know. You get what I'm saying? So you only understand what you've experienced, right? When people say people fear what they don't understand, you hear that in the movies. That's a lie, man. You only fear what you understand. People fear HIV because they understand the HIV is death, right? They understand that that's a death sentence potentially, right? They fear that thing. People fear People fear guns because they understand the damage gun. People are so-called fearing the cops because they understand these people, these idiots aren't for our turn. These fools work for the government, right? And they trigger happy nowadays. Well, they've been trigger happy, but now it's televised. They trigger happy, especially for young Jake. So you have that understanding. Your mama tell you to come in the house before the street light goes off, because she's trying to teach you you don't need to be out there when the lights are out, man. People, monsters come out at night, so to speak. The fiends come out at night. Ain't nothing out there but whores, right? So you start to understand. You teach your son and you teach your children the fear of the Lord. You're teaching them the law, statutes, and law, statutes, and commandments, which When you teach them and you learn and you digest those things long enough, you're going to get the understanding, right? You're teaching them the commandments. The fear of the Lord is the commandments, and not just knowing the commandments, understanding them, doing them, living by them, right? That's why it says you can't just be a Jew by the letter. You got to be the Jew. You got to be a Jew inwardly. In Romans, the third chapter, I think, when it says he is a Jew inwardly. Meaning what? Your spirit, the thing that governs you, the thing that keeps you moving, right? The energy in you, right? It has to be governed by the spirit of the Lord, right? Which is the law, statutes, and commandments, man. In every word from Genesis to Revelation, okay? All right, verse 10. Receive my instruction. That's the Torah right there. And not silver, and knowledge rather than choice gold. For wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. Because why? You can be a rich man and be a dummy, right? Like the whole, what's that? I forgot the guy's name. He was a felon and he married the billionaire daughter, right? The dad of the billionaire chick, I forgot their name, Jeremy Meeks or somebody like that. The dad should have disallowed that union, man. Right? You got a felon marrying your daughter. You're an idiot, right? His dad. The point is that her dad is a billionaire. He has no understanding of who he's supposed to give his daughter to. You know what type of man his daughter's supposed to be looking for. She's not supposed to be looking for a felon that quote unquote is handsome. You understand? That's folly. It tells you in the scriptures how to pick a man. You pick a man according to his wisdom, right? And that's in Sirach. We don't talk about not being a light woman, right? You're supposed to be a woman of understanding, like Abigail, right? Like Ruth, like Sarah, right? Right. So you can identify. So you can see the future. So you can identify what's right and what's wrong, what's good and what's bad for you. And the only way you can do that is by having the law, statutes, and commandments established as your foundational principles and moral and guidance. You understand? You gotta have that foundation, right? Which what? When you dig and you focus and you go in on those laws, statutes, and commandments, and you make that your right hand, right? That understanding is gonna flourish. You're gonna have so much understanding, you're not gonna know what to do with it. You're gonna have so much understanding that when you do a class, like I did this class, I'm doing this class, you're gonna be so picky at just the intro. Like, man, I gotta make sure this is right. Gotta make sure this is right. You know, not the fact that people scrutinize you ain't say this right, you forgot to mention this precept, but the fact that you understand how valuable, the message is. This is valuable to me. The truth is so precious to me. Right? Like this is all I have in this place, man. This is my life, man. Right and wrong is precious to me. The law, statutes, and commandments is precious to me. I have that understanding. I have the fear of the Most High in me. And we're gonna dive into this some more. Let me show you. So it says, for wisdom is better than rubies, and all the things that may be desired are not to be compared to it. I, wisdom, dwell with prudence and find out knowledge of witty inventions. Right? Meaning the word is gonna figure the BS out. Wisdom seeks out the BS, man. We know what's going on, man. We're not ignorant of Satan's devices, man. All right, verse 13. The fear of the Lord is to hate evil, pride, and arrogancy, and the evil way. And the forward mouth do I hate. Precept. Okay. So, precept, Proverbs 9 and 10. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of wisdom, the very beginning of wisdom, right? And the knowledge of the holy is understanding. That's the point. The knowledge of the holy is understanding. Okay? Fear goes into respect. Respect is a form of understanding, which is a form which goes into belief. And belief, like I always mention in my videos, whenever I talk about belief, When you believe something, you're accepting it. Right? That's why it says in Daniel 12:10, the wicked don't understand. They can't understand because why? They're never going to accept the fact that they got to go into slavery. They're never going to accept the fact that Yahweh shall only die for the Israelites, that salvation is only for the Israelites. You're not going to accept those things. The covenants was given to the Israelite. The promises for the Israelite. People don't accept that. You could just see it in their face when you're breaking it down to them. The Gentiles that's mentioned in the New Testament for salvation are only Israelites. They can't get that thing. They don't accept. I ain't accepting that. Right? So that fear ultimately goes back to respect. When you know what respect means, meaning back, and spec means to see back. To see back on what? To see, to look back on what? To look back on your deeds. Right? You look back on what the Most High left. What did the Most High do? What judgments did he issue out? Were they righteous? Were they wicked judgments? Who is this God y'all keep, mentioning? That's how you gotta look back on it. When you find out what the track record of the Lord is, when you find out how the Lord moves, what is he known by, when you find out these things, then you can understand why you should fear the Most High, how you should fear the Most High, and the importance of fearing the Most High. You understand? Because when you fear something, you pretty much understand how strong it is, right? How severe it is, how important it is, how valuable it is, how strict it is. That understanding is the fear, right? You're like, okay, well, I know the Most High. If I eat pork, Most High gonna, jack me up. If I commit adultery, the Most High gonna get me, man. Damn, she trying to throw it at me. I know she married. She throwing it at me. You gotta resist that thing, man. Trust me, you have to resist that thing, right? The beautiful women. That's why the earth is so big, man. Beautiful women are everywhere. And I know I use women because brothers love women, and brothers are attracted to women so much so that it can cause you to go astray if you don't got that understanding, if you don't got the fear of the Lord in you, right? I know what adultery is. Not gonna commit adultery, brother. You ain't getting me to commit adultery. I love my daughter too much. You understand what I'm saying? I love my eyesight too much. I love my speech. I love, my limbs, right? I respect my father, right? I respect my power. I respect Yahweh Shai, right? So I'm not falling for that. That's a trap. That's death, man. So you gotta stay focused, right? Sirach 19:18 through 20. The fear of the Lord is the first step to be accepted of him, and wisdom obtaineth his love, right? Most High only deal with the wise, man. You don't be dealing with no idiots, man. You in this truth, you a wise man. That's the beginning. That's the first step to be accepted of him. In wisdom obtaineth his love. The knowledge, verse 19, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. That thing beautiful. When you read this thing, you gotta, like, reading the Bible is like I see it. It's so plain to me. Like, I have so much confidence, so much faith in every word in these scriptures, man. My mind is seared with the law, statutes, and commandments. Seared with the lessons of the Bible. Seared. I believe the scriptures. That's why brothers that teach these scriptures, you got to teach them as it is written, man. Because you have an important role, man. You got to teach the scriptures as it is written, brother. Okay, because you got young brothers that don't understand really how this thing is working, what that mean, and it's so much. The scriptures are so vast that it's easy to throw a brother off, man. To push your brother out, get a brother, teach your brother the wrong doctrine. Many of us, we wake up, listening to all these little watered down camps, man. And then when we find the truth, because the Spirit is on us to seek truth so much that, eventually we cast off these entry level camps and we get to the serious men of the Lord, man. Great millstone. You understand? We get to the serious men of the Lord. The ones that sacrificing their lives. Not saying that other camps aren't sacrificing their lives and other camps don't teach the truth. The camp that I deal with, right? I'm not in Great Millstone, but I congregate with those brothers. I fellowship with those brothers. There's great brothers out there. I love every one of those brothers, man. Right? And I will defend those brothers to the death. I will give my life for those brothers on the highways and byways. Without a shadow of a doubt. Without a shadow of a doubt. Okay? So, when you read these scriptures, you got to get into it. You got to dig deep, man. Can't be playing around with this thing, man. Verse 19. The law of the Lord, the knowledge of the commandments of the Lord is the doctrine of life. And they that do these things that please, they that do things that please him shall receive the fruit of the tree of immortality. That's in Revelations. That's what we try and get to. That hidden manna, right? The understanding of the things that are not written in the scriptures, right? That God-like knowledge the Most High has waiting for all the brothers that endure to the end, man, that make it, right, and in the kingdom, I mean, it's beautiful, man. The fear of the Lord is all wisdom, and in all wisdom is the performance of the law, right? Because wisdom is what? Wisdom is applied knowledge, which is skill, and the knowledge of his omnipotency, right? Meaning all-knowing. Sirach 21:11. He that keepeth the law of the Lord getteth the understanding thereof. So that's a requirement right there. You keep the law, you get the understanding. And the perfection of the fear of the Lord is wisdom. That's how you perfect that thing, man. And what is that wisdom coming from? Law, statutes, and commandments. It always goes back to the law, statutes, and commandments, brother. The Most High is just, he just wants you to be sincere with it. He don't want you just reading the pages and going along and doing what, okay, they do that, I gotta do that. And you ain't got no energy for it. Most High gonna spew you out, man. You just out there going through the motions. You a Jew by the letter. You're not a Jew inwardly. You haven't circumcised your heart, which is your mind. Right? You just look the part. Right? You got the best fringes. All that stuff. That's well and fine if you can afford it. That's great. You can't. You shouldn't be getting on brothers that can't do that stuff, man. You understand what I'm saying? Or if a brother's not as in a fortunate place as you are currently, shouldn't be looking at brothers' outwardly appearances. Or if a brother is flashy, if a brother does come to camp and have certain things that other brothers don't have, he shouldn't, first one, that brother shouldn't be trying to parade around like he's somebody when he really ain't. We really ain't nobody. We're really just giving. We're really begging and pleading for the mercy of the Most High, all of us. And two, the brothers that see that brother that might be his nature to dress quote unquote nice, they shouldn't be looking at their brother like he's somebody superficial either. Brothers out there trying to be a part of the camp, out there trying to listen and learn, right? And that goes into that spirit of jealousy, man. When them demons, brother, we gotta examine ourselves daily, because a brother might be, dealing with human impulse, hiding behind, I'm in the spirit though, but you dealing with emotions, bro. Stop it, bro. Stop it. That's not. Get out of here, bro. And then, brothers that's more seasoned, you should identify that and cut it off at the head, man, because that brother's gonna just pollute younger brothers, and younger brothers gonna come up thinking this is the way to be, and they're gonna be terrible judges of character too, right? We gotta learn how to read spirits like the apostles taught us, man. Like the apostles told us. We learn how to read scriptures through their guidance, but through the scriptures. You understand? You gotta learn how to read spirits, man. All right, so when you accept the things that you should do to please the Lord, then then your understanding will increase. That little note I put in there, I put notes all throughout the scripture, so that way I can get kind of quick references of the thought I had at the time when I learned to understand it, right? And I try to put notes on certain things when I come to the realization that, wow, that's a great point, or wow, that's what that means. So when you accept, because everything goes back to accepting the truth. You gotta accept the truth to even believe. Can't believe in the Most High if you don't accept these things to be true, right? Everything in all these scriptures have to be true to you for you to even begin to believe, for you to even to acquire understanding, for you to even to deal with the wisdom and knowledge. You got to accept it, right? If you don't accept it, you're not going to get it, man. Plain and simple. All right? Because people, like I said, people fear what they do understand. They don't fear what they don't understand. Nobody's running around here fearing the Lord, you know, in script clubs, man. Jake and Eve, they don't fear the Most High in strip clubs and, you know, and Mardi Gras and, you know, in certain parts of Louisiana where they eat all the crabs and shrimp and lobster and all that stuff. They don't fear people. Nobody's fearing the Most High Red Lobster, man. Nobody's fearing the Most High Red Lobster. Nobody of the stock of Israel that's out there eating those lobsters, they're not fear. If you're a man, you having sex with another man, you don't fear the Lord, man. Period. You're not in the truth. You don't have no understanding. You're an idiot. You're corny. You're an abomination, man. You're an abomination, right? You sleeping with your brother's wife. You know that they married, and you been there every other day with your brother's wife, and she cool with it. You and his wife should be put to death, man. Swiftly. Because y'all don't have to fear the Lord in you. Right? You smoking weed, you don't fear the Lord, man. Most I say be sober-minded, man. Weed causes all types of problems. When you burn anything, it turns into what? A carcinogen, right? Which is cancer-causing. That's not fearing the Most High, giving yourself cancer, dummy. The Most High is the God of the living, not the dead. Man. So how do you fear the Lord? By respecting his judgments, which is what? That's the real justice, right? And his judgments are blessings and curses, rewards and penalties, right? Proverbs 1:7. The fear of the Lord is the beginning of knowledge, but fools despise wisdom and instruction. Because why? They don't want to change, because they're still in they're still in that flesh, that human impulsive state. That emotional state. The brothers that accepted the scriptures, we're more into our spiritual man, right? We put off that natural man, and we're focusing on our spiritual man, because that element of yourself is closely related to the proximity of the Most High, right? That's the spirit is in direct contact with the Most High. So when you're in a spiritual meaning through the spirit, through the words of the Lord that he left through the scriptures, when you're in that element, you're convening with the Most High, right? And when you're with the body, with the family, right, with the congregation, you're convening with the Most High. Super easy, super simple, man. Let me read Psalms 9:16. The Lord is known by the judgment. Let me capitalize this thing. I gotta capitalize this thing. Which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hegegion Salah. Hegegion means to meditate, and Salah means to take pause. So when you read this Psalms 9:16, it says, the Lord is known by the judgment which he executeth. The wicked is snared in the work of his own hands. Hegegion Salah. It's basically saying, ponder that for a minute. Like, wow. Like, man. Like, really? Like, he really wants you to take take your time and digest that. Psalms 9:16, bro. You gotta digest that thing, because the Most High is known by His judgment, and those judgments are what? The blessings and the curses of Deuteronomy the 28th chapter, bro. That's what it is. Deuteronomy 28. Just like I said, Deuteronomy 28:58. If thou wilt not observe to do all, let's highlight that, the words of this law, that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, the Lord thy God. If you don't do that, let's get it, because I want to finish the thought on it. Deuteronomy 28:58, and we'll read the 59th verse when it comes up. I want to finish the thought, and I'm going to close out here in a minute. I don't like having long videos, because people don't, truth be told, people don't watch full videos anymore, because they're so busy, but I still put it out for the edification of the body. 58 and 59 says, look, if thou wilt not observe to do all the words of this law that are written in this book, that thou mayest fear this glorious and fearful name, thy Lord thy God, which is Yahweh. All right, then the Lord, which is Yahweh, will make thy plagues wonderful, and the plagues of thy seed, even great plagues, and of long continence, and sore sickness, right? And a long continuance, and sore sickness, and of long continuance, right? So basically, if you don't follow the will of the Lord, which is in the 15, but if it should come to pass, Deuteronomy 28:15, but it should come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all these commandments and his statutes, which I command this day, that all these curses shall come upon you and overtake you. See, if you fear the Lord, you understand you don't want to be in 15 through 68. You don't want to deal with them. That's the Most High slapping the shit out of you, man. That's the Most High embarrassing you. That's the Most High really stunting on wicked jakes. And men and women that don't understand what's going on, they praying to the Most High for Ray to get out of ICU, and the Most High put him in the ICU. For being a nigga, not understanding, his place as a ruler, as a leader, man. Not following the law, statutes, and commandments. All right. Deuteronomy 31:12. Gather the people together, men and women and children, and thy stranger, which that word stranger goes back to Israelite foreigner, all right, that is within thy gates, that they may hear and that they may learn and fear the Lord your God, and observe to do all the words of this law. Because the fear of the Lord, you have to learn. It's not one of those things where you say, well, I fear God. Well, you ask somebody, how do you fear God? And it's like, you fear God by keeping his law, statutes, and commandments, and understanding his judgments, right? That's the understanding. When you understand that the fear of the Lord is understanding, if you will, the fear of the Lord comes with judgments. The fear of the Lord comes with penalties. The fear of the Lord is swift. The fear of the Lord is long, right? Long continuance. You'll straighten up, man. That's why I always say, man, look, when the Most High put the spirit on Esau, who was a white man, to turn off the water, them niggas, that they never even thought about the Lord, gonna fear the Lord, gonna believe in the Most High more than I do. When you can't get to that water, man. When that food truck don't come, man. Right? When it's Venezuela in downtown Dallas. When it's Venezuela in New York City, man. Y'all gonna start fearing the Most High then. That's why I always say the nuclear missiles is the baptism for the 2/3. You're gonna be immersed in that lake. It's like we had to jump in that lake and get baptized symbolically with the water. You guys are gonna have to jump in the lake of fire and get baptized, right? which we, the men of the Lord, are now getting baptized with fire. We're being tried in the furnace of adversity, man. That's our fire. You guys can get tried with real fire. You understand? So we'll cast off this world, because it ain't our rest ain't in it. Our hope ain't in it. It's vain. It's wicked. It's nothing but abominations, sodomy, and bondage. We'll cast that off for the hope, the faith, honor, and glory of what the Most High has for us as an established nation, as faithful men. Well, that's easy. That's easy for us. We'll cast this thing off. That's easy. 2 Kings 17:28. Then one of the priests whom they have carried away from Samaria came and dwelt in Bethel and taught them how they should fear the Lord. Because this thing right here, man, this is a lesson. This is a life lesson, man. This is a fact of life. Everything that you know in life is doctrine. All right? Can be wicked doctrine and righteous doctrine. I always tell brothers, man, there's only two things going on in the Bible. No matter how you look, there's only two things going on. The truth is being told, and wickedness through lies is being told to avoid. So you're only dealing with truth and lies when you're reading the scriptures. The Most High is telling you how to live. The Most High is telling you how you're going to die if you don't want to live. The Most High is telling you these are blessings. The Most High is telling you here's some curses. You're dealing with the truth and the lie, man. Right? So whatever way you deal, whatever way the Most High has that spirit on you, persuading you to go, you understand? That's your judgment. You're going to be judged. What you're going to be judged righteously, either you're going to be judged with life or you're going to be judged with death. It's that simple. And to avoid death, you must have understanding. And that understanding comes with the fear of the Lord. When you fear the Lord, you have the understanding that you shouldn't eat pork, shrimp, crab, lobster. You shouldn't be sleeping with other men's wives. You shouldn't be spending time with other men's wives. Right? Anybody that's of the stock of Israel, that's trying to come back to the truth, right? You so-called blacks, Hispanics, Native Americans, Haitians, right? Indigenous, Indians, right? Tainos, right? Puerto Ricans, Jamaicans, right? All you brothers and sisters that's down there in Brazil, right? You brothers and sisters that's spread out in the islands, right? That's of the stock of Jacob, right? Get back to your Lord. Come back to you. Repent and come back to this understanding, because this is where your right and wrong is going to come. This is where the world is going to make sense. Everything's going to make sense when you come back to this thing. All right. And that's it. 2 Kings 7. I mean, this lesson here, this part here is when you read Proverbs 8 and 13, the fear of the Lord is to hate evil. I have a class on or I have understanding and precepts on how you're supposed to hate the evil. But for the purpose of this class, I like to go to this just as a backdrop for the fear of the Lord is understanding. Because if you understood what the evil was, people don't even understand what evil is. People don't hate the evil. People walking around here making covenants with their enemies, man. No one's going against Esau and his wicked ways. No one hates the Vatican, right? Everybody loves the government, right? I don't want to say everybody, but most people, right? Because why? They still participating. They're still going out. They're still trying to. Their hope is in, if I just vote, and if I just go to my, the local vote, the local councils and the city councils, and if I go to these national get-togethers, the government put together, none of that's gonna work, man. That's all trash, man. That's all trash, bro. And when you figure out that that's trash, and you start to realize your only hope is the Lord, life is gonna make too much sense. The Most High is gonna open all types of avenues for you. He's gonna pour a river of just understanding, knowledge, wisdom, and understanding into your spirit, you're gonna be overwhelmed, man, and you're gonna enjoy every ounce of it. You're gonna enjoy it because it's like a ocean, man. It's like swimming. It's like a beach of wisdom when you get into these scriptures, man. But that's the point. I wanted to just bring out that the fear of the Lord is understanding. Hey, look, read the verse 14. Counsel is mine and sound wisdom. I am understanding. I have strength. Man, I mean, it's saying the same thing. The Bible is redundant, brothers, man. You need wisdom, knowledge, and understanding to even, get the scriptures, to even break them down, to even have a concept of what's being conveyed. But just stay focused. Stay in the spirit, brothers, and don't just take my word for it. Research everything. Research these words. I highlighted a lot of things. I mean, I couldn't get through everything because I can talk all day, right? But I like to get to the scriptures and let the scriptures speak, and I do like to give the understanding of what's going on in the scriptures, because a lot of brothers, just reading the scriptures and not breaking it down to the brothers, and you're like, okay, what that mean, and every word you should have an understanding of every single word. Fear, Lord, the, hate, evil, you should have an understanding, because sometimes the translations have hidden big words, but they'll hide them under these small words like man or pride. You might say, okay, pride is this, but that word might mean something else in the Hebrew. So you look these words up, you get more of a in-depth understanding, which goes back to my whole point of the fear of the Lord is understanding, which is gathering all the information you can to have to better assess the right and wrong of everything. All right. So with that, brothers, I want to say Shalom. I want to give all praises to Yahweh Bashem Yahweh Shai, by Hashem Rakar Kadash, and you brothers be well.